Hey, welcome back. So, this week we're going to talk about what keeps you motivated, what pushes you forward, and what gets you excited about whatever it is that you want to do in the second half of your life. Join me on this next episode of Keep Creating You, and we'll talk about how to keep you motivated. Hey there, I see you sitting in the shadows. Welcome to Keep Creating You. This podcast was created to bring Generation X women a plan and strategy for the next part of their life. Are you one of those women who lived in their 20s and 30s raising children, and you found yourself looking at your life and wondering, what's next? Then this podcast is for you. We discuss how to look at the next half of your life and decide what your next steps will be. Whether that is creating a business, starting a side hustle, or maybe you plan to stay in the career you love. How do you plan to get the most out of your life? How do you plan to keep creating you? Join me for this episode as we discuss a few steps for the next part of your life. All right, so what is it that keeps you motivated? What is it that wakes you up in the morning and keeps you going to work, that keeps you getting that exercise in, that keeps you going to your hobby or whatever it is that you maybe just need that extra little motivation for, you know? Some of us are really good at getting up and doing the exercise thing, going for a walk every day. I like to go for a walk every day, although I was out of town last week, and that really kind of put a crink in my plans for the early part of this week. I haven't gone for a walk yet because I had so much work to do since I was out of town. And so now I'm kind of not motivated to go back out and do it, right? It's not really that hot. It's about 78 here today. And so that's really a nice weather to go for a walk, but I just haven't done it. And so I'm thinking, why? Why am I not motivated to do that? I'm certainly motivated to stay healthy. I'm certainly motivated to stay on this planet for as long as I possibly can. So what happened to my motivation between last week and this week? And, this is a common problem. This really is a common issue with a lot of us, whether or not that be with our career or whether that be with our business or just even trying a new hobby. Getting that exercise, getting that new business off the ground, getting that career going, or keeping it going, it takes motivation, right? It takes a little bit of the gumption to get up and go. And I want to know, what are you doing to stay motivated? So a few things that I try to do in order to stay motivated is I try to give myself a little bit of wins. And by wins, I mean, so this is going to sound so counterintuitive, right? So if I walk every day this week, then maybe at the end of the week, I can have that brownie. So backwards, right? Like I should be like, I walked, I lost 2 pounds. I don't need that brownie. But, it's whatever makes you happy. If you're healthy in every other aspect and you are getting your exercise in, then maybe that brownie's not going to be all that bad for you, right? But in business or in your career or even a new hobby, the motivation is sometimes harder to quantify, right? So we all know what we're supposed to do for exercise. Either go to the gym, go for a walk, do our yoga, Pilates, whatever it is, cycling, whatever it is that we love to do, or maybe don't love to do, but feel the need to do them to stay healthy. That's one thing, because that's kind of ingrained into us to stay motivated to do those things. But when it comes to your new business or keeping in your career, or like I mentioned, starting a new hobby, what is it that will keep us motivated? Now, staying in a career could be, kind of probably the easiest of those three next to the exercise. Staying motivated for exercise, I'm doing this for my health, want to see my grandkids, my great grandkids, want to live a long, healthy life. Maybe you're one of those people that need to keep your cholesterol down, or you need to keep your weight down, or whatever it might be. So those are easy. That's the easiest one of all of them. And then the second one, easiest one might be, to keep your career going because you've been in it for so long. So maybe you have a pension coming, or you're building your 401k, or you know that in another 15 years or so, you'll be retiring. So that to you sounds like a reason to stay motivated to get to that end goal. You can see an end goal, right? Even in exercise, perhaps you can see an end goal. When you have your own business, that could be a trickier one because you may not know what that goal is. Your business may change. It may evolve. It may not be doing all the things you want it to do. And so you could find yourself thinking, I don't know how much motivation I have for this. And that can be something that you really have to think long and hard about in your business. And before we go back into that a little bit more, I just want to touch upon, a new hobby. Sometimes that's difficult too. What if you buy all the wool felting material that they have out there, all the needles? I didn't really, when I owned a store, I thought there was like 2 needles. There's not. There's a lot more than that. So maybe you have all the needles and you have the wool felting block and you have all the felt and you make your first little creature and you say, I don't really like this. Or maybe you don't like how it turned out and you're the type of person, and again, this may come down to your personality too. You're the type of person that is a perfectionist. And if that little creature does not look like the creature you meant to create, forget it. I'm throwing it in the trash. That could be an issue as well. So that might be a different episode altogether to think about perfectionism there. I'm going to write that one down. But now, when we are talking simultaneously about starting a new hobby or starting or maintaining a business of your own, sometimes the end goal is hard to see. I used wool felting as an example here, and I'm also going to use, starting a business as an example. They're going to work simultaneously in this instance because I do see a similarity in these. By that, I mean, what is it that you want out of your personal business and out of your personal hobby? A lot of time, it's happiness, right? We want something that is going to make us happy, that's going to be fulfilling, right? Both of those are fulfilling. And while we love to make money at maybe both of those, who wouldn't want to make all the wool felting creatures in the world and then one beautiful autumn day just go to a craft fair and sell them all for top dollar? That would be great, right? That's perfect. Let's do that. But, like in business, it may not be something that we can actually achieve. So sometimes you've made all those wool felting creatures and you get to that craft fair and maybe nobody has walked into that craft fair. Maybe it's raining that day, or maybe it is a beautiful autumn day, but that's the problem. It's a beautiful autumn day and they're all out apple picking or looking for that perfect pumpkin. And your wool felting creatures, your business that you've created, is sitting there dormant and nobody's walking in. How are you going to stay motivated to continue moving forward? So, a couple of things I've been working on lately with my own personal businesses is I have found a couple of things that have helped me. One is I'm trying not to stretch myself too thin. So originally, when I started this podcast, which I think this is only like episode 6, so not that long ago, I was trying to do all the things. I was trying to do a printables business for Kept Creations, and of course, my main business, which is the podcasting. And I was really struggling on giving the allotted time to do both. So I couldn't do all the things. I couldn't do it. What I ended up doing is I tried to decide which one was more important to me, and I let the other one slip for a bit. And it might be for a bit, or it might be forever. I'm not sure yet. I don't know where that one's going to lie. There's a store open for it, and it's there and it's sitting there, and I don't promote it because I am too busy promoting my other business. And again, this is, stretched too thin. Could I hire help to help me with the other one? Yeah, sure, absolutely. But a lot of times we just may not know where to find that help, or we may not have the funds for that help. I have in the past done a barter with people to help me with different points of my business. That has worked out pretty well. Now, I decided that I dropped that particular side of the business. So Kept Creations is currently stopped for right now. It is just living on Etsy. And KP Creative Media is what I am working on every day. As a matter of fact, today I learned how to do a reel, amazingly enough. But I'm finding the small motivations keep me going, the small celebrations, the small wins. So in this particular case, a small win for my business might be just some encouragement from a client, right? And that could be said for when you're doing a craft fair. Maybe nobody else walked in, but the woman in the booth across from you came over, she looked, and she thought your items were cute and had said so. Or maybe if you don't have that particular instance, maybe another opportunity you could take into this is you could reach out to the person next to you, their booth, and say, "How are you doing? What other shows have you been signed up for? I'd love to know a little bit more about you and your business." Network. Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you. I love networking. Honestly, I love it so much. I actually joined a networking event and met a couple people just today because people are fascinating, right? Everybody has a different story. Everybody has a different type of thing that they're interested in. It's just fascinating to hear about different businesses, different people, different walks of life. So I actually had 2 today, and I love that. I love meeting new people and talking to them, which is probably one of the reasons why I loved having the store so much, because you're always talking to new people. A small win when you are looking down into the hall and you see nobody walking in the door. A small win of just introducing yourself to somebody new, or just taking a look at that person and seeing what they're selling and offer them some encouragement. Or maybe they've offered you some encouragement and they have really liked your item and they have given you a nice testimonial if it's a client, or just I love how you're doing something and this works and I like it. Just those little bits. Take those little bits and celebrate those as small wins. When you have a big win, then maybe it's time for the ice cream. No. Maybe if you have a big win, that would be a great time to go out to dinner or maybe go buy those new flip-flops that you really liked, or I don't know, whatever it is that you want. It's getting to be summer here and I need new flip-flops. That's why it popped in my head. But celebrate your small wins, celebrate your big wins, and just keep yourself going in small ways, even if it's just meeting new people, learning new things about them, and seeing how they do business, how they stay motivated. There's nothing wrong with asking somebody else that as well. Anybody in the same industry as you, or even the same walk of life as you. How is it you stay motivated to go for a walk every day? What is it that you do? Goes through your head? And you know what? They could have a tidbit of information that just puts that light bulb in your head and you say, oh my gosh, I never thought of it that way. And now I'm going to start doing it that way as well. So I hope you stay motivated in your life. And if you need some help and motivation, I would love to talk to you. Again, I love to network, and it would be wonderful just to see how you do business, how you stay motivated to exercise, how you stay motivated to start a new hobby or career. So if you are interested, you can just click on the link down below and you can come on over, make an appointment, and have a nice little coffee chat with me. I'd love to meet you. Until next time, keep creating you. Thank you for listening to Keep Creating You. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you like the show, I would love it if you'd hit that subscribe button on your favorite podcast player so you don't miss an episode. I would also totally appreciate it if you gave me a rating or a review. I'd love to know if this information is resonating with you. If you're looking for more information about myself or this podcast episode, you can find that over at kpcreativemedia.com/podcast. You can always find the links and resources mentioned on the show there. And if you're looking to start your own podcast, let me know. I'd love to help you. Let's talk about your idea. What's your next step in your life? Until next time, see you soon.